And we are in game and ready to go. The series to determine who will make it through to the main stage is underway. Anno, WL, place your bets in chat. Let us know who you think is going to make their moment happen here. Obviously, Anno, the more notorious, I would say, in terms of EMEA Masters. But WL definitely having the better regular season. No crazy shenanigans, though, happening from the start of the game.
Yeah, we'll have to see, because right now, as the analyst deck said, WLGaming seems to be the kryptonite of Anno. Anno almost run through the regular season 13-1, only losing the last game to WLGaming. On the other side, WLGaming had some rough patches. They got third, not even second in the regular season, but all that lower bracket just buffed them up. They know how to scale, they know how to recognize their mistakes and learn from them, and they have learned a lot. That's what we saw in EMEA Masters as well, so I'm expecting great things from them as well.
And I'm almost a little bit surprised with how they've drafted here today, because you kind of talked to me a little bit about these teams yesterday, and you were saying, although hold on one sec, bot lane having a bit of a fight there. Iliva, though, not going to have just enough damage yet. Underneath, though, will stay alive. And we were talking about how the comps like to play, right? And you were telling me that, essentially, WL, really clean and clinical, really good at closing out games fast, but they don't really like being past 30 minutes, but they've drafted a really late game team.
Yeah, the issue they're facing is if they have not opened them up completely after the 25th minute mark, where they usually scale with their team comps, they're finding some difficulties. So if a team manages to hold some outer turrets, maybe even all the inner turrets, up until the 20th, 30th minute mark, we find some mistakes. We find some rushed Baron calls, we find some face check-ins, which really do spoil WLGaming's chance of winning games. We saw that versus Suba as well in the playing groups, and that's why they're not first in their group. That win was so critical for them, but...
Oh, hook landing. Levi getting Jairus back, and a lot of health lost from that Jinx as well. Bit of trading held back, but so far it feels like Anno having this slight advantage in this bot side.
Yeah, and someone was laughing about the bike ban because it's always against Levi, but there is exactly the reason why. He's so strong in those early game skirmishes, he doesn't miss a hook, and he can just take away all of your summoners, and maybe they'll take away this trade as well.
Oh, spooky. You might want to be a bit more scared than that. He is going to dash away. The hook just slightly short. And Bruness able to claim that Rift Scuttle. Now looking potentially for the second one. Actually, no, he's just going to go back to finish off his camps. So Spooky there, not going to get double trapped.
Yeah, he'll make sure that he stays at least at the same XP with Spooky as well, because Scuttlecrab doesn't really give XP anymore, and you have to take all of those camps to get to level 4. That's what Brunez does as well, and maybe then he'll look for something in the bottom lane. Most likely not, but if he finds Levi with Golden Toast overextending, we might see a skirmish. He will try to punish, because that's his playstyle as well. He tries to find the enemy jungler, or where the enemy wants to point their aggression at, and be there in order to punish them. If they do punish them, they are maybe even the best team in the planes to out-rotate everyone else.
Island, Zero. I'm a bit of scrap. You know? I feel like this is the top lane life. I feel like maybe Riot needs to change top lane. Hold on though, hold that thought 1 second. Jairus is going to get hooked. Bart Benedicto going to go aggressive here. Golden Toast is going to take quite a bit of damage there. But it's not going to be enough. Again, these two teams just willingly... Oh, nice little snipe there. Done a little bit extra. Willing to trade, get low, but no one going down.
And what's important is that the bot lane of Anno still has all of their summoners. If they catch out Baronito, yes, he's the healthy one, but he has no way to escape except commit all of his cooldowns. Now we see Jairus being forced away. Maybe he'll stop his reset and catch this wave, but he's still so behind on that trade. On the other side, Golden Toast started with the D-Blade. That means that he will not have that easy buy into the Noon Quiver, but the D-Blade so far has paid dividends.
Indeed, up 10 CS, building that lead. Now obviously Jinx, the notorious late game ADC. If you've ever played League of Legends, you know about this champion. But Varus able to start that early scaling, able to get that early aggression going. And if they do get some prio over this and they are able to start setting up dragons, it definitely could give Anno a lot of room to move in those later stages when the Azir, when the Jinx, when the Gwen do start to come online.
Yeah, but on the other hand, they will need to do that fast because he plays Lethality Virus. We see the Halo Blades, we see the Tear and the Log Swords trying to stack up right now, but that also means that they cannot really rush objectives. They are not scaling that much. He will need to find his 2-3 item spike way faster than the Jinx, especially since his items are way cheaper than all the great items for the AD carries, and try to commit on those spikes, try to just play the game before the Jinx comes completely online.
Are we going to get a first fight of the series? Maybe. They're both going to be playing quite passive, actually. Anno and WL going to leave this one. I thought there could be a scrap there. 4v3 would have been the advantage to Anno, but Golden Toast quite happy just to kind of freeze this wave near his tower, keeping them safe. They know the Brunez is in the area, and they don't want to be giving over anything for free. Both teams playing this relatively quiet. Are you maybe a little bit surprised from either side here? Or are you saying, okay, this is fine, they're just handshaking the first few minutes, but it's going to heat up soon?
I think they're just handshaking at the moment, and I think they're kind of nervous, both of them, because at any other day or night, one team might have pulled the trigger, might have tried to find an advantage. Like here, Ho-Ho went for it all in, he just traded ultimates, that's okay. But the thing is, every game matters. It's not a best of 5. You cannot lose multiple games. One game lost means match point for the enemy. So any mistake matters.
Indeed it does. There we're going to see Sejuani making their way in. Frozen Tomb was going slightly wide there, as it did have to go and flash the Valley. No longer having that summoner. And now in the top side, all out. Heso could be in trouble here, but Elif going low as well. Dr. King gets the first blow.
Holy moly!
You talked about Cassante early on.
Holy moly, that was a 1v1 for all the 1v1s, for all the marbles, and Cassante barely managed to get ahead. He doesn't go for the ghost, which we see so many Cassantes opt into, and that once again pays itself off. He gets that solo kill, but there's also a meme saying that when his hero dies solo in his lane, then WLGaming wins the game.
Oh, damn. That's some deep lore right there. If that's true, I don't know what that says. I don't know what that says about Head Zero. I don't know if that's a bad thing.
I think
but either way, we'll have to find out. We'll have to find out if that's true.
He just needs to be humbled once per game. That's what I think, and then he comes online. I'm not sure if this was humbled. Maybe he's just screaming, "Oh my god, he's so lucky" in the top of his lungs. But I'm not sure if this was luck. Elif played this perfectly.
Yeah, if we had a pie chart of reasons people give for losing a 1v1, I do think luck would be like 99%.
Maybe sometimes, oh no, their jungler was closer, and then you ping your jungler, he's on the other side of the map,
yeah.
just getting a singular gromp, and you're fighting. Oh, why is my jungler not here? Oh.
Talking about junglers though, in the jungle, Brunez is going to get contacted in support versus jungle, but the Jinx is here. Jairus adding an extra bit of damage, and they will pick off Spooky. An easy kill gifted over to WL, and that is not what you want to see if you're an Anno fan.
Yeah, for real. They fought into the enemy territory, and they did not realize how close Jairus is. And to make matters worse for Anno, Jairus got the kill. You don't want that Jinx to be accelerated on her spikes. You want her to spike as late as possible, so you can still play around with your Varus, with your range advantage, with just the cooldowns of your spells. If he hits his power spikes faster, then you're really doomed.
Doomed indeed. It's a bit of a rough one if Jinx gets ahead. We obviously were watching from the backstage the previous match there between Isubra, and we saw some late game carries get accelerated very early, and it does shape the game. Hopefully for Anno fans that it's not going to be the situation for Jairus right now, but they are going to start scouting out for this dragon. Wards are going to be cleared by WL. Anno are having a little bit of a look towards it, but they can't send too many members just yet, or they're saying that Hawthorne has now pushed in that mid lane. Maybe they get on their own timer first.
I'm still not sure if WLGaming can win any skirmish which has even members from either side, because Pyke has hit his level 6 power spike, he can now execute and share gold. Varus is still really strong, he also has a chain of corruptions, and there's a melee together with a Sejuani. So yes, if you're planning on having the numbers advantage, go have your heart at it, but right now WLGaming does good. They just concede this one break, they try to steal it with the super mega death rocket. That doesn't matter if it fails. What matters is that they get that little bit of gold back in their pockets and then don't waste any of it back.
Zero pushing in. I left there underneath the tower. And to be fair, I've been doing better since that first trade, so maybe you're right, maybe you needed just that one moment to chill out, relax, and compose himself a little bit more. But we'll have to catch up with that lane soon. As right now, in the mid lane, Banito has gone for a bit of a weird pathing here, but he's not going to be able to catch out Ho because he's just too close to that tower.
Yeah, he does respect the enemy support roams ever since the finals. In the finals, he was completely outclassed. And right now, he's at his home chilling. Most probably, the nerves aren't getting to him as much as in a LAN environment with 300, 400 people in front of you just yelling the lungs out. So he's just trying to find some spaces to play, but mostly with his ultimate up. If he doesn't see the enemy players, he just respects it, and that's good. And that's what maybe Hezero must do as well, because Lee Sin is close, but Pike, I think, is a really strong early game champion.
Oh, they're taking a lot of damage, man, from the Azir. Azir already starting to push out quite a bit with the soldiers there, so Bloody definitely well on the way of the scaling. And right now, quite a subdued game so far. Herald was taken and hasn't been used just yet. Bruno's still holding on to that one. We'll see where they go for it. And it looks like they might drop it right now into that mid lane. Bloody also supported by the bot lane. It's going to be a crash for sure, but I don't know if they're going to go for any further plates. 2 will be taken, but I think that will be all.
Not even 2, I think it's only the one. Oh. The Herald for this plate and all doesn't take 2 plates exactly, it does less than 2k damage. I think that's a good change since the plates cost more. But it's a really weird play because Brunez had some chances to put the Herald earlier, to get some more advantage, to maybe push with their number advantage, push out someone from their turret, but he's way too hesitant. I think the nerves are still showing a lot, because even when they have the numbers advantage, even when they have the cooldown advantage and can play the game, they still do not so far.
Consider trading over this ward. I wouldn't have thought a ward would have been the reason these two fight, but you never know. Wards are important to people. As Spooky getting onto the map again, and I'm starting to get a little bit worried for Anno, right? They need to make plays happen, kind of like you're saying, and they haven't so far. They've not found openings. They've not really looked to kind of speed up the tempo of the game. And yes, okay, I would say the marker they need to be head by is around that 25 minutes. But you'd think the game would start to open up a little bit earlier. We do have the Dragon coming up in 2 minutes. Is that it's going to be Sejuani spotted out? I believe Spooky was noticed there. And Hezero can just play this really safe, really far back and just waste the time of this jungler.
Or maybe not.
Oh, gonna go aggressive here. Here is Lichen as well. The 2v2 situation is going to be coming up, but a good stun on the Hezero will stop them. But there's the kick back. Spooky going to be picked up, and Anno, which looks like they're making proactive plays. Elipto going to pull back Brunez. We talked about them making proactive plays, but it's going to be WL that find the success in this top lane game.
Match, outplay, outroam. That is the WLGaming mantra, and it works so well right now because maybe they saw Spooky, maybe they just spotted him, knew that he should be around that top side of the map before the Drake spawns, and they were there. And that play, yes, he wasted his flash, yes, he couldn't done it with a ward over there, but I think Insec would be proud of Brunes from that play.
It's the play that had to be made, it's the play to make things happen. If he doesn't go for that play, no one gets a kill. He makes it, they get a lead. They're now up by about 1,000 before the Drake. And it's also going to set in that mind that, you know what, they are ready to play. WR are not going to be playing passive. If they have an advantage, they will take it. And that kind of puts a little bit of a threat towards Anno because, as we've said, they are the ones that need to be proactive early on and getting these leads. And now, WL looking for this Herald as well. Spooky is going to make their life a bit more difficult and actually take them away from it, which I'm a little bit surprised, but obviously with the movement of Levi, it would have been a bit scary. They will take that Herald and push the tempo a little bit more. But can they secure the Dragon as well?
It will be really important for them. It's also an Infernal Drake, and they need every bit of damage that they can find right now so hastily. I will be impressed if WLGaming managed to sneak that out of Anorthosis, but unless maybe Anorthosis will just face check someone, maybe they'll try to bite off more than they can chew, and that often is their hybris, and the nemesis comes in the form of WLGaming. Now, what can Anorthosis do? I'm really impressed with iLevy roaming around all the map because I really like the advantage that we're giving over the bot in the bottom lane, and right now is completely mitigated. The farm is only 10 apart, which is not so much at this point in the game, and of course Jairus got that free kill onto Spooky early in the game, so I'm really impressed that they did not keep on pushing in the bot side.
But right now, Dragons instantly started by WL. They've taken control of this and they're just going to secure it. And here comes the big first team fight. Big knockback onto Golden Toast. Is going to be able to flash away, but in the mixer is Spooky getting taken absolutely so low. Jairus is going to survive. Echo jumping back in, but not going to find him. And Jairus with the hot feet dropping left and right. But finally goes down. Ho picking up 1 kill for the team, but he may be falling as well. A huge win for WL early on as Ilif tries to even up the stakes, but it is not going to happen. 2 more the ace and WL take it all.
And they were found in such a good position for some reason. Anorthosis let them have the river all for themselves, got disconnected, and then still tried to fight in the face of a Nautilus, in the face of a Nazir and all of his soldiers, and they got so punished for it. WLGaming gets some really huge strides for that first win because not only they're ahead, not only they match the Drakes, but they also outscale so heavily.
And it's what you talked about earlier. You talked about the clinicality, how they like to play these well-crafted team fights. They play for the plays they know they can make. They do exactly that. They bide their time. You said you don't need to do anything for the first 10-15 minutes. They waited and they finally struck, opening up this game for themselves. And WL are looking real strong right now and put them in a very secure position. How do Anno need to answer back? Because so far it feels like they're on a road to slowly lose this game.
Yeah, I think they need to really start making picks. They need to go again into the enemy jungle, but not right now with the numbers advantage, have 2-3 members. If only you find 1 member you fight, unless you just leave, you try to come to another place, because you still have an Echo. That's a really strong assassination potential. You still have a Sejuani with a lot of CC, and you still have a Rakan. He can execute, he can share gold, and then you can get back into the curve of the gold and even things out. If you don't, you're just gonna start bleeding out slowly. You're gonna get out teamfought. It's really hard for Anorthosis with that team comp play the game on an even state.
Yeah, the 5v5 definitely going the way of WL. As you said, find picks, find little skirmishes, try and get them off guard, try and invade into that jungle. That's what we want to see. Deep vision lines coming out from the side of Anno. So far, we haven't seen the promise of that. It is a little bit risky, but in the top side now, WL they're looking for this tower, maybe even for
teleport.
the divers. DP going to be used as well, forcing Thor away, and Bloody just going to join in. They take that tower there. That's going to be the first brick of the game, and it's going all WL. But right now, we are going to get a trade back, though. Anno able to secure this mid tier 1 will open the map pretty decently for them, and they won't get a second charge.
Yeah, and I think the mid lane turret is a tad more important at this point in the game, especially with a pick, with a composition such as Anorthosis, because they want to get into the enemy jungle, start placing their own vision, start making WLGaming face into fog of war at all times. So I'm not really sure what went in there with the teleport. It looked like a defensive teleport in the beginning, but then I realized it's from the blue side, so I'm really bedazzled right now. I don't know what went on over there.
Yeah,
exactly.
Mark, you know, I was also a bit surprised because I was like, oh, they maybe going to go for the dive, but then they didn't even commit for it. So no commit with the dive. Did secure the tower, but then they lost 2 towers for it. So all in all, not necessarily the most worth in my book. But WL have been playing pretty consistently across the rest of the game, so maybe it's all just a bigger plan.
Possibly, but that first step of that bigger plan just gave Anorthosis a step back into the game, because if you check the gold lead right now is close to even. It's 200, 300 gold. That's nothing. It's like a dagger, and it's split across 5 members, so you don't really get so much, and that's what Anorthosis need. This is their time to shine. Of course, yes, you'd really like both Echo and the Varus to get into their second item spike, maybe even the Cassandre, but as soon as they do, you just fight. It doesn't matter if your opponents are half an item ahead, you need to fight. This is your huge power spike. This is where your champions does more stuff and does all that stuff better.
One dagger could sometimes change a fight. Shout out Game of Thrones, Arya Stark. But I do agree with you, in this game, it's really not going to be the difference maker between these two teams. As right now, both teams starting to set up for this Drake. Anno very much with the better positioning. Ho just slightly shy of having his TP ready, whereas Bloody, no chance of getting it before this time of the dragon spawning. So I do wonder if they're going to start making their way down, because WL are a little bit late to this one, and are actually going to have to walk into Anno, which with the prospect of a pike feels a little bit rough.
Yeah, the pike, the Suzriani, usually whichever of this team comes is first to the Drake, when they're even in the team in power spike terms, then they should get the Drake pretty uncontestedly. Why is WLGaming abandoning this Drake? I'm not sure, but they're picking a fight.
Are they going to fight? Death Charge already used onto iLevy, so they're not going to have that for a team fight, but Hezero is finding a lot of damage already.
Brunes
has the gun. Golden Toes in trouble. Brunes, as you said, going aggressive now. Hezero going into the backline. Now iLevy going to have to try and jump away as Ho makes his play. He goes, gets the parallel convergence onto Bloody, but it's not going to be enough damage to pick him up. So many low health bars. And WL will stay alive. They don't lose out, but they also don't pick up anyone from Anno. How will they continue? They're looking for more on this mid lane. I don't think they're going to be able to find it, and they will just back off.
How did everyone survive over there? I'm not sure what went on, but there were so many low HP bars, there were so many cooldowns spent, and every single one and their parents just lived somehow. Who does that favor? I'm pretty sure that does favor WLGaming. They got away, they were in a rough position. Of course, they almost made the huge play with Brunes getting that huge Dragon's Rage onto the enemy backline, but it still didn't matter. What we do from now on, 2 Drakes onto Anorthosis is not too bad of a risk. Can Anorthosis, however, try to sneak a Baron with Ho having a Nashor's Tooth completed? Because that item is usually seen on Jungle Echo, because you can then just 3-shot every jungle camp.
Ooh. I'm still thinking about the last play. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm still bemused by how no one died. Like, it's made my mind crazy, right? I feel like Ho maybe could have committed a little bit more. He had the ultimate still, could have maybe gone back in onto Bloody. But it's a question for later. Maybe the analysts can break that one down for us at some point in the later stages. But we have another fight underway right now for Baron control. Here they go. They're going to get a lot of damage now onto Valenito. He is going to go pretty low. There's parallel convergence, but Levi is going low himself. Goes down. It's a 1-for-1 so far. Elif now on the back side of this fight. But Jeru's able to pick up the kill. And on the top side, Bloody able to have his damage dealt to Ho, who is on the run. A 3-for-2 over to the side of WL. A scrappy team fight from Anno, playing on 2 sides, and WL able to keep themselves consistent, compact, and as a unit pick up the win.
And it's really good for the side of the Northeast that they managed to get Brunes off the map, because otherwise that would have been a free Baron for WLGaming. They got the fight they wanted. They only let Bananito die, and maybe iLevy was a bit too hasty with his ultimate. If he gets that reset, he's much more of a threat, but otherwise Spike is a really iffy champ in all those team fights. We saw him just commit all your spells. If you don't hit, you're just a ward, you just die to anything, you're just squishy as heck. How how are those fights so close though? That's what I don't understand, because right now I see a 2-item spike on everyone on the side of WLGaming, minus the support, but of course support lives don't matter when you look at the economy of things. How are they not using the rage advantage? How is everyone fighting melee on those fights?
It's questions, a lot of questions that I don't necessarily have the answer to. Big fights have occurred, not many deaths in either of the fights, and no aces in the last 2. And look at my total of 5 members going down, as right now F0 actually having a pretty rough trade against Hall. Maybe going to go for the aggression here, could finish them off here, gets the kill, and woo! Solo kill over to the Echo. Yasilis' main definitely showing some skill points on that one.
That's the best Echo in the whole West server for you. Maybe he'd also TP, he does!
Oh! Into the mid lane, we get this fight going. We're already picking up the kill, but now they're stepping forward. Spooky going to get the lockdown on to the Northers. They're going to pick them up immediately as Zerus in the back with Elif. Going to have a rough time, but get supported enough. They will stay alive. Bloody with Jerus able to keep themselves safe. Brunez still alive as well, so no Baron attempt can be made from Anno unless they want to risk the steal.
He asked for more Des. They committed to more Des. We saw 4 in the last minute alone in 2 different lanes, and this is a rough game for both teams. None of them are getting what they want to do. None of them are having the game they want to. Ho-Ho can carry from the one side because who will side lane against Ho-Ho? We saw right now that Hezero cannot match the Echo. It's really hard when the Echo gets ahead. It's really annoying to play against. If Anno can play the 1-3-1 and then commit to the team fights, that's good. But if they get picked off at the beginning of the fight, such as how Levy got picked off by Brunez right now, then it gets really rough for them.
Dragon is spawning 2 seconds. WL in position. They are the ones that hold the river right now. Let's go in a little bit early now. 1 versus 4 here in a bit of trouble.
Engage!
Gonna be jumping under. Brunez going pretty low there. Does he have the damage to pick him up over the wall? He will be able to escape for now. WL running away, but Anno consistently trying to make this happen. Benito able to hold the line, and they lose one already, and now it's all going to be
the damage!
There's a quick one! Oh, with the back coming huge! Almost picks up 2 more kills. He gets Brunez on the backside of the fight, and Vladdy and Janus just not able to get into this one. They have to stay away. But talking about that, there's the slice, and Daisy tries to get in. Vladdy with the scoop gets 1. As now they're moving.
Oh, he's excited.
The next down, J. Roos picks up the kill, and a huge turnaround for WL from their mid and ADC. They make it so Anno don't win.
What is this roller coaster of emotions, man? I can't take it. Both of those teams getting so good fights and so bad fights, and it's the same fight for both of them. How does it happen? Spooky gets Brunez out of the fight. Ho-Ho gets him out, and that's wonderful. That's Sevskis, and then Spooky just wants to suicide inside the enemy team, gets a reset for the Jinx, makes things harder for them, and then they get more picks, and then they die again. What is going on in this game, man? I don't know what to expect in the next fight.
It's chaos. And to be honest, I would have thought that would be working out for Anno, but it's still actually working out for WL. They are the ones that are coming out on top in these team fights, and it's because their carries are living. Vladdy and Jairus are staying alive. We've seen Elif go so many times on to Jairus, but it does not matter. He's not able to pick up this kill. He's not able to finish him off. And I don't know if they need to rewrite their plan, go back to the whiteboard of what they need to do, but someone else needs to be accompanying him to try and kill off this Jinx, because as long as this Jinx and this Azir live, WL have a chance of winning.
But how can you pick both of them off? Their range is so humongous compared to yours. You cannot commit multiple resources. If Pyke gets into the enemy backline, he'll just get kicked in the face and then die. If Sejuani gets, he will not be able to do enough damage. It's only the Xante that can do something like that. He can try and isolate the enemy carry and try to pick them apart, but it's not enough. His damage is still not there, even in the all-out form, and WLGaming are taking full advantage of that. Now, Jairus has both of his summoners, and he's really hard to pick off. Will WLGaming try to initiate their own fight for the first time in the game, or will they just wait for Anno to make the mistake themselves?
Ooh, big question, Spooky. They're going to just lose his shield. No aggression from Bruno. They're not willing to follow it up just yet. Anno setting themselves up, potentially going to look for this Baron. WL just holding time, waiting patiently. Ho-Ho in this bot lane does have TP, can join any play that Anno make.
And that's the plan right now. Nobody can match Ho-Ho. If WLGaming will try to commit onto something, you just back off, let Ho-Ho do his thing, maybe then join the fight later. If we manage to get someone to match Ho-Ho, Ho-Ho can just outplay anyone in a 1v1 scenario. I don't think it's possible to punish this Echo without a Nautilus ult following him through his parallel convention. So it's really hard to deal with him on the side lane. He's level 17, he has 3 items, the death cap is on, he's also stylish with that hat and also so deadly. So how does WLGaming find the perfect engage without losing their whole base on the other side?
Questions to be answered right now. Going aggressive just straight onto Spooky seems to be the answer. And right, Levi goes super aggressive, but misses
it's there.
everything. No chance of death from Lobos to pick up the kill. Reyes now just holding them up, gets the kill onto Levi, as now they just keep going forward. Ano have managed to get one pick, they managed to get two, but can they turn it into more? Zero and Jairus still alive. They've managed to win a fight. It was very messy, very scrappy, and it's exactly what Ano wanted.
How is Ho-Ho's Echo legal? He one-shots the Azir, yeah, gets half of his health, traded back for exchange, but then he goes 1v2, again melee, and gets one before he dies. He single-handedly carries the whole Anorthosis fight at this moment. The rest of the team are just following along, playing the second drum, and Ho-Ho is getting his rhythm on. 8, 2 and 2, almost 4 items at the 31st minute mark. This Ho-Ho can be the Ano late game win condition.
And we talked about getting into the backline, getting the Azir, getting the Jinx. He managed to get one of them, was able to come back and switch up the fight. But obviously, you can only do so much in the game of League of Legends. It is a team fight game, not a one-man carry. Ano need to start supporting this. They need to start getting the dive going. And I feel like their team is built for it, right? Pyke, Echo, Kazante, they're all good at going in, can be supported well by Spooky on that Sejuani. They can make these plays, it's just finding the right situation, finding the right angle to get into these team fights. And Bananito is really putting the brakes on them, really standing up and holding them back. And obviously Bloody, when he does have the Emperor's Divide, able to keep that wall up.
Yeah, and it's really hard for Varus to get his identity down in this game, because what Varus wants to do with his lethality build is just stand back, poke away, maybe get 2 or 3 half flags down, and then play the game, then play the team fight. He cannot do that. He's not safe. At any time he walks up to just throw out arrows, he's always subject to get an anchor thrown down at him. Always. Oh, Elif, maybe he's getting caught? No.
But WL are just playing for this mid lane. They just said, we don't care. You're caught in this side lane. We're just going to take all your towers. They've managed to take a tier 3. They're going for an inhib now. And we talked about them post 30 minutes, maybe not liking having the base being too not open, and they've just said we're going to open up right now, and Elif in big trouble, going to have to dash away, but in the backline, Hall getting a stun down. You have to watch that chrono break. He doesn't use it. He goes down, and they're already dead. And in the base, Ano are losing their time. They're losing their momentum. They are losing potentially this game because they are being snipped apart by a 0 to finish this one off. Levi, the last one alive, and WL on to the Nexus Towers with a wave.
Oh, they're gonna get this game, and the combo of chompers into the kick was so good, because if you check, Ho-Ho does not have a stopwatch, and that was his demise. He was rooted, he could not ult, and